played?
Well, in sports, we look at the tapes, right?
Yeah.
We look at what happened on the field.
Yeah.
In home service, that's what Slack is. That's our tape, right?
Yeah.
We're looking at what happened in this call and why did it go south? Why didn't we sell on it?
Hey, how's it going? It's Tim Brown, and this is the Plumbing and HVAC Hustle podcast. And today I've got Kent Boll from Boll Co on. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well.
We're going to talk about how you're doing call-by-call management wrong, because not all call-by-call management is the same, and that's what I understand from you. But give me a few minutes on your background and how you got into this whole crazy sales training game.
Yeah. So I've been an electrician since I was 9 years old with my dad. So a tradesman myself, ran many thousands of calls myself. I joined a best practice group back in 2009, realized that I had a good knack for sales, never thought I would consider myself a sales trainer, anything. I was just an electrician. And working with that organization, I started taking some of their sales training and always trying to make it better. And I realized that it would work really well. And then I got to the point where that organization actually asked me to help build a electrical training sales model, which I did and I taught. And then I left that organization and people would reach out to me and they would say, hey, I want to do, like at the time, TV advertising. Advertising was getting very big and popular at the time. And they would say, hey, I want to do TV advertising. And I'd be like, well, what's your average ticket? And they would tell me, and I'd be like, you can't afford TV advertising. Your average ticket's too low. And they're like, well, what do I got to do? Oh, you got to get your average ticket up. And they're like, well, how do I do that? And I'm like, well, you got to go get trained. And they'd be like, well, where do I get it? And I'm like, I don't know, because nobody teaches it, unfortunately, like I do. And so like, well, will you do it? So they started basically asking me to train their teams. And so I started doing that. And of course, the word got out, and then more and more people wanted me to do it. And so that's kind of how I started this. I didn't really ever think I would be doing this, but this is where I'm at.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's always a good direction where it's like people are asking you to do it. I feel like that's kind of like how we came up with this agency too. Originally, it's just like people were asking for it more and more, and I just kind of like created it at what they're asking. Yeah. You're essentially being asked to create something, and then there's an audience to purchase it when it's time. When people do purchase and work with you, like how much are they working with you? Like how much, is it like a day a week?
Yeah, usually. So most of my customers choose to work with me virtually because it's more cost effective that way. So I'm usually training their teams over Zoom one day a week, usually 7 a.m., whatever time zone they're in. And I'm training their teams over Zoom. And then if they're hiring me also to do the business coaching.
How long is the training per day?
1 hour.
Okay,
yeah, 1 hour. Yeah, usually an hour, sometimes 40 minutes, but usually about an hour. And then if I'm business coaching them or we're implementing call-by-call management, then I'm working with their management team or owners later on in the day over Zoom or virtually other parts of the day when things calm down around the office.
Okay, so then an additional hour for the leadership?
Yeah, sometimes it's more than an hour. It just depends on what we're working on. We want to get the call-by-call and the processes and the team members in the office trained in as quick as possible. Like they have to be just as trained as the people in the field. And we want to make sure that when both of them are trained, we can launch at the same time.
And the engagement usually lasts about 6 months with you?
4 to 6 months it usually takes to implement the whole thing
and
properly.
And like the initial launch is like after a couple months, or how long does that usually take?
Yeah, so usually 4 to 6 months we're presenting what I call our diagnostic packages, and then our 5-star, large repair replacement packages. And then the call-by-call knows what they're doing to get the right person sent to the right job to present those things. And so
okay, so it does take that long to launch it all, like really launch. Or like, what about an initial test? Like,
if they choose the package of doing it virtually, it takes longer. But I have packages where I will fly out there, we'll do a 3-day on-site, and we'll launch this thing much, much quicker.
Oh, great. That's an awesome option. So what's the difference between the way you do call-by-call management and what you've seen be less effective?
Yeah, so call-by-call management can be anything from like the owner or a manager just having a pre-game call with their technician before they go into the house. Some people call that call-by-call management, which it could be called that. But if you have a very mature version like my version, we are not just doing that. We are using something like either WhatsApp or Slack or even text messaging, and we're giving the technician steps in there. So it's usually, let's say, 1 through 15 steps. We call it rules of the road. We cut that, we paste that into the channel that we're speaking to the technician with, and they have to complete level 1, step 1, and then they'll post step 1 and then post step 2. And so all of it's not only tracked and logged, it's saved, so we can always go back and look at it later. And the owner can now make sure that he's holding his sales manager or call-by-call manager accountable that they're doing their job, right? Because they may all blame the technicians. The manager might be like, the technicians aren't selling anything this week, or they're not listening, or whatever the case may be. But is the manager doing what they're supposed to be doing? And can he or she prove that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing? And if it's all logged and archived in Slack, we all know it's happening or not happening. And if sales are down, we can actually go into those channels and we can look at, okay, which part of the process are we missing here? Why is this not working? Why are our customers not buying? Or why aren't they buying as much as they used to? And we can actually get visibility into that on every single call if it's done right.
Okay, you work with a lot of companies around the country.
Mm-hmm.
Give us an economic update from your point of view on HVAC and plumbing sales. HVAC, plumbing, electrical?
Yep, HVAC, plumbing, and electrical.
Where are we at in the zeitgeist? It feels like there's a little bit of like tightening of the pocketbooks, maybe on average. I heard somebody put it this way recently. It's like, if the market is down significantly, like let's say if like shipped boxes is down 10 or 20% across the country, and you're only down 7%, you're actually up.
Yeah, you would be, at that point.
So it's like understanding, like
depending on your business model.
Yeah, the differences. But the problem is when you started the year in growth mode and you hired a bunch of people, and then so now your profit's down. Yeah. Because it's hard to make up for that, like 10 to 20%, if that's the case. And I'm just curious, like from your perspective, is there, like, you're talking to a lot of people out there. What is the feeling? And maybe they come to you when they have issues. So maybe that's not a fair assessment. I don't know.
I definitely think call volume is down for all three trades. But you as a marketing agency probably know that or can verify that. However, the companies that are doing call by call and they're making the most of every single call, they may not have as many calls, but they're still executing on the calls they do get better. And that's why I always say call by call management is more important in the slow times than the busy times, because of course we want to make as much money as we can on every call, but when sales are down, when the economy's low, when you're in a shoulder season, every call is literally gold.
Still a lot of money chasing these transactions. There's still really good outcomes out there for sellers. It's good to have someone like us in your corner, because we're not emotional, but guess what? When you're selling your business, it becomes emotional, and so it's really good to have an intermediary, there every step of the way. www.sfpadvisors.com. All the contact information is directly on the website.
Let's just do this economic update for one more second. I just want to it feels like purchasing apprehension is a bit up because consumer confidence is down. Would you say that's an accurate assessment? Like, what's your assessment? Give us just a quick, newsy update for this podcast.
I would say
it is December 2025 as we're recording this. So
I would say that there is definitely what they call it inflation fatigue. I think there's definitely that going on.
Sure.
I think HVAC is suffering the most.
$12 Taco Bell.
Yeah. Oh, it's insane. I bring my kids to Culver's and it's like $50 to go to Culver's. It's just crazy.
Now that's worth it though. Taco Bell, I will.
When you have 3 kids, it's not maybe.
I don't respect the $12. Like, we know what's in that food. It should not be $12. Okay. Culver's, I used to work there.
Oh, well, that makes a difference.
And every time I go there, I tell my wife, I'm like, you don't understand how cleanly it is back in that kitchen. It's super. We were wiping the counters constantly.
Yes.
And it is a very clean environment. At Taco Bell, I've seen the tubes of meat out by the garbage can, and it says like grade D, do not serve to your dog. So it's a different, I shouldn't be paying what I'm paying for that.
$5 for a taco like that or whatever it is. Yeah, right.
Anyways, so anything else just on what are you feeling based on your conversations with other companies right now?
Yeah, I think HVAC is by far the toughest one. I think right now. Most electrical companies that follow a good sales process seem like electrical is doing very well. HVAC, I think, is suffering. Plumbing is one of those industries that it's like people almost got to have it, it's 90%, well, let's call it 80% repair, right?
And I was just talking to somebody yesterday about this, and it's the fact, tell me if I'm wrong. This is just me trying to understand the industry. I act as the journalist, not the expert in these interviews, but it feels as though maybe you can have more people doing 80% of the calls that are not that highly trained, because a lot of the calls are basic. Is that true in plumbing? Plumbing.
Say that again.
Like basically you could have a lower level employee doing basic stuff, because there's a lot of basic calls, I guess.
Yeah, I would say that's possible, especially when you bring in drain cleaning. Or I would say that's true, but again, the successful companies are finding those more opportunities in the home, and then they're bringing in more experience or better salespeople when they see those opportunities.
And so that brings us back to our main subject here. Where is the right mode? So if you're doing call by call in the right way, and you're doing it not just at the beginning of the call, but maybe at a key juncture or two throughout. Is it just one or two junctures?
It should be from dispatch to finishing the install and permitting and everything in between.
In that moment where you'd essentially get help from a higher level salesperson, what are the triggers that lead them to say, the call by call manager back at the office to say, all right, time to bring in, we got Jimmy out there. Jimmy's great for doing basic tasks, but he's not this advanced guy yet. Let's bring in Ken. What's that moment?
Okay. So again, it depends on your sales model. My sales model, we have the technicians take what we call vitals. So plumbing, it's water quality, water pressure, gas leaks, and electrical, age of electrical panel, type of wiring, voltage drop. And then in HVAC, it's age of equipment, static pressure, airflow, stuff like that, right? So the technicians within 30 minutes of arrival are supposed to be posting in their call-by-call channel or the communication channel their vitals, right? So it's like when you go to the doctor. First thing they do is take your vitals.
Slack
same
channel.
thing with us. Doesn't have to be Slack, but that's what I
or whatever the communication.
prefer.
Okay, but it's like it's a hashtag vitals or hashtag call by call or something like that, and and everyone's are going in there.
Preferably, like when we use Slack, we create a separate channel for every home.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yes.
Interesting.
And then we actually save that channel. We cut and paste the link and we put it into our CRM, whether it's House Call Pro, Service Titan, whatever.
Okay, interesting.
And then 3 years from now, we can click on it. We can see the conversation that happened when we were there.
Okay, cool.
Also on a note with that is if you ever sell to private equity, they love to see you have a documented, archived sales process in your CRM.
That's cool. You have channels for each one. It gets a little messy maybe when you have 50 channels over on the left.
Not if, well, yeah, I mean, your guys are only on, depending on how many people you have. I mean, if you have 20 technicians, you have 20 channels open.
But they archive those as soon as they're done with that call?
Yep. Then that channel is just for that job, and then the next job's going to have a whole new channel.
Okay. Cool. And then the moment when when we bring in the big dog.
Yeah, so once they take those vitals, once the vitals fail, we know that this is a major repair or replacement opportunity. And my training is when those vitals fail, we're staring down the barrel of a $5,000 to $50,000+ job.
Yeah.
So we know that within 30 minutes of arrival. So within 30 minutes of arrival, when the vitals fail, we're staring down the barrel of a $5,000 to $50,000 job. We're teeing up our top sales guy, our best communicator, whatever you want to call them. We're teeing that person up Or in some companies, they're just dispatching them straight out. We haven't even told the homeowner this person's on their way, but we're teeing them up and they're on their way.
Because if I'm a homeowner, I actually don't really know that Jimmy just got Ken down in the basement. I don't like it's.
Yeah, you don't know that's happening.
I didn't know.
Possibly.
I wouldn't necessarily be super conscious of the, like, I would assume that's just the normal flow of things or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, so the technician would tell the homeowner, hey, you know what, I have a field supervisor in the area. We're the only company in the area that does an internal second opinion. We never want to sell you anything you don't need.
Ooh.
He's going to come out here and take a look at it also.
Internal second opinion.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. I like that language.
And then,
hey, use that. That's value right there.
Yeah.
Internal second. We're the only company in the area that does an internal second opinion.
Yeah, because we don't want to sell you anything you don't need.
That's Kent Boll premium sauce right there.
There you go. And then when that person arrives, they come in as the field supervisor. So now the homeowner's like, oh, this is the manager, right? So now that person has escalated their level in the home, and their opinion now matters even more than the technician that's in there. And then now that person may be technically knowledge, maybe they're just a salesperson. You could run it different ways. But then that person comes in, and then they're the ones that are proposing the $5,000 to $50,000 plus options to the homeowners.
And that happens because the vitals get in there and they're low or they're wrong.
They're failed. Something failed.
Something failed, and automatically the call-by-call manager is like, he's been watching for this, and he's like,
his whole job is to watch for this.
Like, okay.
With HVAC and electric, those vitals will fail 80 to 90% of every home. So it's not like this is just a random thing. Like the majority of your calls, they're going to fail.
Why?
Because that's the way. So like when HVAC, most homes fail, according to ASHRAE, 80 to 90% homes fail airflow. People don't install ductwork properly in new homes, especially spec homes. So when we run our tests, these pieces of equipment are set up to move a certain amount of air, and if they're not being efficient. They're going to run harder. They're going to break down more. The life expectancy is going to go down. The energy bills are going to go up, and we explain that to the homeowner, and then we get our supervisor out there.
Is there any other additional things like level of concern, homeowner qualification, those types of things? Is there anything like that where you're putting a few more things in with the vitals to say, hey, this homeowner's like ready to play ball, or like there's a high level of concern from the homeowner? Because I would assume that would make it more of a ripe opportunity. Yeah,
so I have that all built in. So when we fail the vitals, the technician will then go to the homeowner and present 3 to 4 pre-built packages to the homeowner of, we got to figure out why this is happening, Mr. Jones. This is what it costs for us to figure out why this is happening, and it may come with some repairs in it. And it's different levels. They're usually between $500 and $1,500. And we let the customers choose how important it is to them. So if they choose a level 1 for, let's just call it $500, that may be a lower level customer. But if we have a customer who's like, yeah, I want the $1,500 one, I want to figure this out. Well, now we know that that's probably the one we're going to get our top guy over to quicker.
Is this ever something where it's like the $1,500 would come off the larger project?
It can.
Okay. Yep, I'm just kind of curious about, like, does it feel clunky to sell them twice? With here's the first diagnostic package type thing, or the first tier, and then we got to sell them this other bigger thing afterwards. Does that feel like a little, almost like, I thought you
like
thought
a
I was
bait
gonna,
and switch type thing?
Yeah.
So some people think of it that way, but what you'll really find is that it actually locks your customer in with you. Because when a customer spends a decent amount of money with you, $500 or more, they like the odds of them price shopping you after that drop significantly.
Because they already spent some money.
Because they are invested with you.
I think it's the law of consistency.
Yeah, well, and they chose you. Like once they paid you, they've chose you. You're the one, right? And so very, very seldom when we sell these packages. Very seldom when we sell these packages, and then we give them the $5,000 to $50,000 packages. Very seldom do they price shop us after that, because they're locked in with us. And to your point, we can use that money as a coupon for the larger if we need to, the larger package. So it's actually opposite. It locks your customer in with you. Because let's just take like HVAC for an example. A lot of technicians will go to a home, let's say the system's 15, 18 years old, it's in horrible shape, it's broken down, and they go straight to the homeowner and they go tell them, it's not worth fixing this thing, we should probably replace it, right? And then they give them prices. And what do the homeowners do? Thank you, we're gonna go get some other bids, we'll call you back, right? But if the technician goes in and they're like, hey, your airflow's horrible, you might have ductwork issues, we really need to figure this out. It's $500, $800 for us to figure it out. Customer's like, oh, geez, okay, they pay it. And then they give them the prices. Very rarely they won't price shop you after that. And these are generic ways of saying it, by the way. It's more in depth than this. But that's how we lock the customer in with us.
Okay.
And even if they do get other prices, we won. We got $500, $800, $1,200. We won.
Talk to me about what other things you think are, you go into people that have already implemented call-by-call management, I'm assuming?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. And they've done some version of it.
When they need more, they need a little help, they need a little Kent Boll special sauce. What are the improvements that you're often making? What is broken in many people's call-by-call management?
Usually what happens is they say, yeah, we tried call by call and it didn't work. This is usually the conversation.
It's a adoption problem?
Yes, because what happens is the technicians will say, well, what happens when this happens? Or because there's all these nuances, right? What if they have a warranty? What if another company put it in? What if we screwed something up? What if it's old? There's just so many different variables. And if the homeowner hee-haws around and doesn't quite know how to answer the question, then the technician loses confidence in the whole thing, it falls apart, and we all just revert back to what we did before. That's what I see 90% of the time. But when you bring somebody like me in, I've seen, okay, when they have a manufacturer warranty, we do X, Y, or Z. If you guys put it in, we do X, Y, or Z, right? Like I give them the playbook of how do we handle all these nuances. So when the technicians ask these questions in training, I have the answer. There's no hee-hawing around, I don't really know, let's try this. There's none of that. Like, I give you the answer. And then the process sticks because I'm there to make sure it sticks.
Many homes suffer from inefficient HVAC systems due to leaky ducts, leading to uneven room temps, lost airflow, and higher energy costs. AeroSeal's innovative sealant technology targets and repairs leaks, improving airflow and efficiency. Increase your customer satisfaction, increase sales, and offer a unique market advantage. Become a leader in HVAC efficiency. AeroSeal.com.
What are other objections to just implementing call-by-call in general? Like what? Somebody out there has thought about it 5 times. They've looked at it, but they just don't think it's right for them.
Yeah.
Doesn't apply to me. Kent, excuse me.
I would say you're losing hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, depending on how big you are, by not doing it. Some people will call it, well, I'm micromanaging my people. It's like, you could look at it micromanaging, or you could look at it as you're holding them accountable, or you could look at it that you're helping to coach them on every call. It's just like in the NFL, right? The quarterback has an earpiece in his helmet in the NFL that talks straight to the coach. Why? Because the coach can see the whole field. The quarterback can only see the guy in front of him, right? He can't see the whole field. And so the coach is telling him through his helmet, and they may change the play. Now, I believe the rules are when the ball is snapped, they can't talk to the quarterback after that. I believe that's the rules. But that's call-by-call management, right? It's the same type of thing. As a manager in the office, when you see pictures come in of the equipment, you are letting your technician or your salespeople know what the next play is, because that person is in the office, they're not getting emotionally attached to what's happening within the home. Because I've been to calls where somebody's running a daycare and there's 20 kids running around. It's absolutely chaotic. That's going to throw your sales process off. Or the husband's in a horrible mood, or somebody's really sick, right? And you emotionally change the way you are, which means your sales process changes. But if somebody is in your ear or your pocket, right, on your phone saying, no, the next step is this, go do this. And you're like, oh yeah, that's right, I got to do that, right? it makes things more consistent, and then your sales are more consistent because of it.
Does do they get dependent a little bit on the call? I mean, at a certain point, does it create a culture of dependence
Possibly.
around the mothership?
Yeah, possibly, but in
That's
a way,
a lot of work, right? At the office level, that's you're providing
It's
more
a full-time position.
You're providing more support.
Yep, it's a full-time
And
position.
that's probably one of the biggest objections people have. It's a lot of money to have that person back there.
Well, the thing is, they're already paying somebody to do this. They call them a dispatcher.
Okay. Yeah.
They're already paying somebody to do this because your call-by-call manager should be doing the dispatching also. So, and by the way, you don't need a 20-year veteran technician that knows how to fix everything.
That's another thing I would
not the
assume.
person.
Okay.
In fact, I wouldn't even want that person.
Why not?
Because they know too much technical stuff. And usually when somebody's that technically knowledge, they're not the best salespeople. Of course, there's unicorns out there, but it's usually not that way.
Because I fixed that back in 2008.
Right. And then become fixers. I don't want fixers. We're proposing large replacements, right?
Yeah.
So I want somebody who can sell over the phone, because one of the part we really haven't talked about here is the decline part. So when they decline one of these prepackaged diagnostics I have, that manager is getting on the phone on speakerphone, speaking directly to the client, finding out why they're not buying today.
Okay.
It's not a coaching call with the technician like, hey, go in there and tell them X, Y, or Z. No, this is a sales call. The technician will walk in with the manager on speakerphone, and they will try to sell the diagnostic.
Huh.
And then now the manager knows why the customer's not buying. So when the owner goes to the manager and says, hey, why aren't we selling much? The manager knows exactly why. It's the holidays. People don't have money. People are laid off. There's a factory that closed down in the area. Whatever the reason is, we know now. It's not just, I don't know, the numbers are low. I guess we got to train more. Well, what are we going to train on? Well, I don't know. We'll train on this. Is that the problem? We don't know. We're just going to train on it anyway because we don't know what else to train on.
That's good. Give me a little bit more about your personal experiences out in the field. Give me an interesting story that, like, maybe somebody was skeptical at the beginning before they implemented this and ended up having a great result.
Yeah, okay. So you're saying an experience with me actually running calls, or an experience you said in the field?
I
so I
mean,
don't know
more like, training people.
Okay.
Training people, like in somebody that was a little skeptical on the front end. Because I'm assuming sometimes an owner talks to you, but like
it's usually the owner.
The people are a little skeptical, and you kind of got to get over it. And I'm assuming other people have that objection out there too.
Yes.
Where they're like, I actually do want this, but God, if I give my people another initiative.
Right.
That we changed CRMs, we changed brand.
Yeah, this is the 4th sales trainer we've had, and everybody wants to do it different, right?
So exactly. So how do you get through that with a team? And like, give me maybe if you got any stories.
Yeah. So many different stories. But when it comes to technicians, one of the responses I love the best is when I'm in these trainings, because I'm on Zoom every week with these teams. And we always talk about wins and losses and, all that stuff. And when we have a win and the owner says, what do you contribute this to? And they say, basically, it's just running Kent's process. Just trust the process and do the process and it works, right? That's the biggest compliment I get, is when I hear that in the trainings, because it's not like they're the guinea pigs. Like, I've implemented this in over 50 companies. I've implemented it in my own businesses.
Is it Kent or Kent?
Kent with a T. Like Clark Kent.
Oh, I keep on like switching back and forth in my head. It's Kent. Okay, I thought I was.
Like Kent Herbeck, Clark Kent, whatever you want to say. Yeah.
When you're going through the Kent Herbeck, that's twin, right?
He was a Twins player, yeah.
When you're talking about the quarterback thing, I couldn't help but go like, oh man, our Vikings are having
a rough time.
A real rough season. We just had the first shutout since 2007.
Yes.
I'm like, doesn't matter how much we get in that guy's ear.
It's
our couple quarterbacks that we've been working with, doesn't matter how much. And I believe our coach is a beast, actually. And that's
I want to believe it.
I believe he is, but
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, It hasn't worked out, so now we have to question it.
Yep.
I always and that's probably happening in some home service businesses out there, right?
Probably.
Like there's some people questioning leadership right now.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure of it.
And there's a little bit.
I think every owner questions their leadership at some point.
There's a little bit of lack of trust. And there's also whose fault is it, right? Who's like, is it the two quarterbacks that obviously they sucked, but at a certain point it's ownership's fault.
Yeah.
So if that would be the sales manager. But at a certain point it doesn't matter because it's still the ownership's fault.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I believe in some of these Facebook Vikings groups are fake, so I don't know if it's true.
Yeah.
But one of them said that Kevin O'Connell, the coach, said, the play calling was all on me. Like, I shouldn't have called those plays. That was my fault. Like, he did take a lot of the ownership on some of it.
Yeah, they have
in
like
this
previous
recent shutout game you're talking about.
Yeah, just wildly embarrassing. But you say that as a coach, no matter what, like, because he is a good. I mean, I believe he's a good coach.
I believe he's a good guy too.
You know what? I wouldn't even be surprised. I'm just going to call it right now. No, just kidding. I just keep on making calls. Calling a Super Bowl with Kevin O'Connell at some point in the future. I think he's a very smart guy.
Yeah, I think he is too.
So and I don't know about ownership and some of these moves, but I'm trying to relate it back to home services. And it's like knowing which component is messed up. Who's at fault? Are the salespeople really bad? You kind of got to go to the sales manager. And this is the second or third sales manager that's been roughing it a little bit or whatever. At the end of the day, it is the ownership's fault. So you got to make moves. And you are the one that will end up being responsible because it's going to show up on your P&L. So at a certain point, it doesn't matter how much, like if you're making the sales manager uncomfortable by pulling a move that has to be made.
Well, in sports, we look at the tapes, right?
Yeah.
We look at what happened on the field.
Yeah.
In home service, that's what Slack is. That's our tape, right? We're looking at what happened in this call and why did it go south? Why didn't we sell on it?
Yeah.
And if we get 5-6 calls in a row where all these same mistakes are being made, it's like it's probably the manager's fault because he's not holding the people accountable for following the process, right? Now, if he's holding the people accountable and he's having conversations and he's writing up employees for not following the process, okay, he's doing his job, he's trying. And maybe we need to replace technicians at that point because they don't want to do it or they're not good at it or don't like it or whatever the case may be. But if the manager isn't in the call-by-call channels at all, well, clearly he's not doing his job.
Let's flip to the winning team. We don't want to get too obsessed with the Vikings here.
Yes.
Let's flip to the winning team when you've got these things running. Like, imagine with me in a year when the company out there has call by call up and running. Paint a perfect day and maybe one perfect call all the way through from your point of view and give us, even if it's a recap of what we talked about. I'd just like to kind of, this is how it will feel in a year from now if you implement this process.
I'll give you a quick version. I don't want to take up too much time, but the technician who is going to the call will post that he arrived. He or she should post that their vitals of what they found, the diagnostic proposals they proposed to the customer, the one that was sold. Then the sales manager will tag in the field supervisor or the comfort advisor, whatever you want to call them. That person will arrive.
What do you want to call them?
I like field supervisor.
Okay, I like it too because comfort advisor sounds fluffy and field supervisor sounds high status.
And I don't want it to be, I don't want the customer to think a salesman's coming out. I want them to think a manager or a more experienced technician is coming out. That's what I want them to think.
I actually like that too. Comfort advisor does sound like, that's a fancy word for sales. It's a salesperson.
Salesy, and then the field supervisor, comfort advisor, whoever comes in. Now he runs his process, which is following all the steps, right? He sells. We want those guys to sell about $12,000 a day is what we want those people to sell. And so let's just say in a perfect world, he sold a $12,000 job for that day. Then tags the install manager. Now the install manager is tagged in the channel and all the pictures are uploaded of what the work is that we sold, what we have to do. And now the install manager is like, yep, that sounds good. The install manager orders all the material. He posts in the channel all the invoices and receipts in that Slack channel. So they're all in there. We know what was purchased. We know where it was purchased. We know how much it was purchased for. And then the installers show up. They do their work before pictures, after pictures are all in this exact same Slack channel. The permit manager posts the permit in there. And the closeout is done. We collected payment. Maybe the financing forms are posted in there. The final inspection report that passed is posted in there, and it's closed out. That's the perfect scenario of where we want to go.
Let's zoom out for a second, like the daily or weekly cadence for the owner. Let's just put this in the head of the owner because they might be making the purchase decision on working with a call-by-call management coach. What is going better for them in their life that week because they did this and this is going on?
Yeah. So the best thing about call-by-call is that it turns your business in from being reactive to proactive. Because in this industry, from what I've seen, most owners and managers are completely reactive. It's we're putting out fires all day long. That's all we're doing. And at the end of the day, you feel like you got nothing done because all you did was put out fires. Well, if we're being proactive and we're fixing things before the fires start, and we're using Slack to do it, now the owner has more time. It seems like the business is running smoother. There's more customers that are happy because we're not dropping the ball. Technicians are happy. Installers are happy. Everybody's more happy because we're being proactive before these problems start. Like, I'll just give you a quick, stupid example. Our installers were not calling in to give the model and serial number so we could register the equipment for warranty, right? This is before we had Slack and before we had call-by-call. Well, I found out that my permit gal, who also did the warranty registration, was calling customers, asking them to go to their units and get the model and serial number off of it so she could register the warranty. She was spending all day calling customers doing this all day long. I didn't know this was happening. I was bigger-ish at the time. I didn't have my hands on that. I found this out. I'm like, this is the stupidest thing ever. I'm like, why are we shouldn't be inconveniencing our clients to go look for model and serial numbers. You should be spending your time doing it. The installers should be giving you this information. Well, if that's number, let's say 8 in Slack for our installers, they have to post the model and serial number. And they can't say they forgot because it's in the channel. The rules of the road are in the channel. They have to do it. And if they leave without doing it, we all know who was responsible. The install manager clearly didn't look at the Slack channel before he let those people leave the house. Right? This is one stupid example, but look at the chaos around that one stupid thing. Now take that over all the parts and pieces from sale to closeout, and you can about imagine how many fires we're putting out or we're not letting start from the beginning.
Well, I appreciate you walking through that. Where can people go to check you out to get started on this process?
Yeah, so you can reach out to me on Facebook. Just Kent Boll is my name. Otherwise, my Facebook page, Boll Co. Email me or you can call me. Either way, whatever way is easiest for you. I'm not hard to find. You Google my name. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on YouTube, Facebook, whatever. Pretty easy to find.
Appreciate you very much for talking through that. I wanted to end this with just a shout out Hook Agency got, since this is a hookagency.com podcast. Just got a review today by Kristen Sullivan of Bob's AC. They said Hook Agency has been an incredible partner for our digital marketing growth. Their team is sharp, responsive, and truly understands how to drive high quality leads through SEO and paid search. Since working with them, we've seen stronger visibility online, improved keyword rankings, and a clear strategy that actually moves the needle. They communicate proactively, provide transparent reporting, and genuinely care about helping businesses grow. Highly recommend them for any company wanting real, measurable digital marketing results. Thank you, Kristen Sullivan, for that. And I appreciate everyone that watches the podcast. Appreciate you for driving an hour to get here. I think it's so much better to do an in-person podcast.
So much better,
I just like seeing real people. It's a little, we're all around the country, so there's just...
Well, I work from home, so I got to get out today and do something a little different,
Exactly. It is, just so you guys know, it's bitter cold. There's probably some heating calls going on in Minnesota.
It was negative 12 this morning or something like that. Yeah.
12. So there's probably some heating calls going on. Good luck to the today. Midwestern heating and AC companies out there. And one more time, the .com for
just bollco.com.
Bollco.com. And let's just practice your elevator pitch. Say it one more time. Bollco.com. Go to bollco.com. Look at that camera.
Go to bollco.com. You can fill out a form there and get a hold of me, and I would be glad to get on a call with you and talk about how we can get your business scaling the way it should be.
I think like the best part about it feels like call by call is like, it's not just about more money too. It's about getting a little bit control of the chaos. Because I think some people are making a lot of money from pure grit. And maybe you need to be gritting your teeth a little bit less and enabling your people a little bit more, so less of that chaos gets to you at the end of the day and week.
And I think a lot of owners and managers thrive off of, I hate to say it, but they thrive off of putting out fires. They feel like they're a hero because they're putting out fires for their people, like they're worth more per se. But it's exhausting at the same time. So
don't call them if you just need those fires to keep going.
Yeah, if you need those fires to drive you and to make you feel important, keep doing it. But eventually you'll probably burn out, or you'll have too many people to put all the fires out.
All right, thank you, bro.
Thank you.
I can't commend Hook Agency enough on just the experience. We're talking about plumbing experience, but the experience we've had overall working with your team members on this project, they really draw out ideas that otherwise I didn't even think of, which is incredible. So thank you guys for being a valued partner of the Family Plumber. I really appreciate that.